Hello everybody, welcome back to You in History. Please stay tuned to this channel by subscribing and enable notification so you don't miss other updates. In my last video, I discussed the history of Nigeria from the 5th to the 19th century. Today, I will discuss the British colonial rule from 1900 to 1960. Please stay tuned. The 60 years of Britain's colonial rule in Nigeria were characterized by frequent reclassifying of different regions for administrative purposes. They are symptomatic of the problems of uniting the country as a single state. In the early years, the Niger Coast Protectorate was expanded to become southern Nigeria with its seat of government at Lagos. At this time, the rulers in the north, the Emir of Kano and the Sultan of Sokoto, were very far from accepting British rule. To deal with the situation, Frederick Lugard was appointed High Commissioner and Commander-in-Chief of the Protectorate of Northern Region. Lugard has already been much involved in the colony, commanding troops from 1894 on behalf of the Royal Niger Company to oppose French claims on Bogu, a border region divided in 1898 between Nigeria and Dahomey. Between 1903 and 1906, he subdues Kano and Sokoto and finally put an end to their rulers' slave-raiding expeditions. Lugard pacifies northern Nigeria by ensuring that in each territory, however small, the throne is won and retained by a chief willing to cooperate. Lugard then allows these client rulers considerable powers in the technique soon to be known as indirect rule, which in Africa is particularly associated with his name, though it has been a familiar aspect of British colonial policy in India. In 1912, Lugard is appointed governor of both northern and southern Nigeria and is given the task of merging the two. He does so by 1914, when the entire region becomes a colony and protectorate of Nigeria. The First World War brings a combined British and French invasion of German Cameroon, a campaign not completed until the early 1916. In 1922, the League of Nations grants mandate to the two nations to administer the former German colony. The British mandate consists of two thin stripes on the eastern border of Nigeria. The rival claims of Nigeria's various regions became most evident after World War II, when Britain was attempting to find a structure to meet African demand for political power. By 1951, the country has been divided into northern, eastern and western regions, each with its own House of Assembly. In addition, there was a separate House of Chiefs for the northern province to reflect the strong tradition of tribal authority. And there was an overall legislative council for the whole of Nigeria. However, this was not enough to reflect the complexity of the situation. In 1954, a new constitution, the third in 8 years, establishes the Federation of Nigeria and adds the Federal Territory of Lagos. During the late 1950s, an African political structure was achieved, albeit gradually. From 1957, there was a federal prime minister. And in the same year, the western and eastern regions were granted internal self-government, to be followed by the northern region in 1959. Then, full independence followed rapidly in October 1960. At this time, the tension between the country's communities became Nigeria's own concern. Then came the independence and the secession between 1960 and 1970. Regional hostilities are a feature of independent Nigeria from the start, partly due to an imbalance of population. More than half the nation's people are in the Fulani and the Hausa territories of the northern region. Northerners therefore control not only their own regional assembly but also the federal government in Lagos. From 1962 to 1964, there is almost continuous anti-northern unrest elsewhere in the nation, coming to a climax in a rebellion in 1966 by officers from the eastern region, the homeland of the Igbo. They assassinated both the federal prime minister and the premier of the northern and western regions. In the ensuing chaos, many Igbos living in the north were brutally massacred. And in July, a northern officer, Yakubu Gowon, emerges as the country's leader. His response to Nigeria's warring tribal faction is to subdivide the four regions. The Midwest had then been added in 1963, rearranging them into 12 states. This process further inflames the Igbo hostility, for one of the new states cut their territory off from the sea. The senior Igbo officer Odumegwu Ojukwu takes the drastic step in May 1967 of declaring the Eastern region an independent nation, calling it the Republic of Biafra. The result is bitter and intense civil war, with the Federal Army increasing during the conflict from 10,000 to 200,000 men, meeting powerful resistance from the secessionist region. The issue splits the West, where it is the first post-independence African war to receive widespread coverage. The United States and Britain supplied arms to the federal government. France extends the same facilities to Biafra. By January 1970, there are starving. Biafra surrenders and ceases to exist. Ojukwu escapes across the border and is granted asylum in Ivory Coast. Then, there was a declaration of no victor, no vanquish. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Like this video, share with friends and family on social media. For more interesting videos like this, please check the playlist here and subscribe to this channel. Enable notification so you don't miss any updates. Thank you very much for watching.